Hey, what is up, y'all? It's your girl Danielle, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Danielle Price. I am a personal development coach, an author, and a speaker, and I help women reduce stress and anxiety in their lives and help them take better care of themselves. Y'all, this is the last iteration of Feminine February, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little sad. However, I feel like we've learned some really valuable things when it comes to reclaiming our feminine identity and rebuilding our confidence and understanding how to better ourselves and how to make feminine energy work for us instead of against us. If you are new here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and join the tribe. Feminine energy to me, as I have said in the previous videos, is not girly, it's not super pink, it's not just external. The external portion is about 10%, right? But it's all about what goes on the inside of us. It's all about our internal processing, our thought processes, and the mental and emotional strategies that we use in order to create ease in our life, right? To me, feminine energy, again, is about exuding confidence, being confident and comfortable in who you are, and standing firm and flat-footed in I am who I am who I say I am, and I light up a room everywhere that I go, and I express that in whatever way feels comfortable for me. It's also about this sense of receptivity, being open to receive downloads from your higher power, whether it be God or whatever deity it is that is important to you. Being open to receive, blessings and receive help, and just again being open instead of being very closed off. And it's about being creative, right? And being willing and able to create new things and multiply and, amplify the things that are around you. So we have talked a lot about how to make feminine energy work for you. But one thing that we have not touched on that I feel like is really important when it comes to reclaiming your feminine identity and walking in your feminine energy is prioritizing your well-being. Sometimes when we think about feminine energy, we may think about what it looks like, right? What it looks like to express that, right? But how do we nurture it within ourselves? How do we create an environment within ourselves that makes us feel safe and makes us feel confident in walking in our feminine essence? Again, it's less about the hair, the nails, and all that. Your external appearance really is a reflection of what's going on inside of you, right? So within, so without, right? As above, so is below. So today, we're going to talk about how to prioritize your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and how to really develop yourself so that you can develop your confidence, right? So one of the very first things that I want to make sure that I reiterate is that you are the center of your universe. And when you think about the external universe, the universe that is outside of us, the sun, which is the largest star in our universe, it never asks permission to shine. It just shines. And you are just like the sun in your own universe. Everything and everyone revolves around you. I know that that's going against some of y'all theology because some people have been told that, the world doesn't revolve around you. Everything's not all about you. You got to think about people outside yourself. And while that is absolutely true, y'all, I'm still fighting this little cold thing. So bear with your girl, okay? Everything and everyone that relies on you has to revolve around you because it relies very heavily on your ability to show up and support them. And so when we talk about prioritizing your well-being, sometimes people they may think it's selfish when you set boundaries and you say no, you prioritize yourself, but it's really not. It's really about preparing yourself and pouring into your own cup so that when something does happen, or you do need to show up, or you do need to accomplish something, or you do need to do something, that you're not pouring from an empty cup. So our physical body is one of our biggest supporters. It is what allows us to show up every single day. And our body requires certain things that we can sometimes neglect. And when it comes to prioritizing your own well-being, you first have to identify what it is about your physical appearance that you want to change. Now, this isn't just about how do I I don't want to negate body positivity, but I also want us to be realistic, right? There are some things that we are not positive about when it comes to our body. And sometimes we have the power to change those things. And so when it comes to prioritizing your well-being, think about the goal that it is that you have for yourself. What is the aesthetic that you want? How can do you want to lose weight? And be honest about these things. Do you want a smaller waist? That's my thing. It's, honey, I want a smaller waist. If everything else stays the same, I'll be fine. Except I want a little bit more booty. I ain't even gonna lie. I want a little bit more booty. Okay, I got the thighs. I got the thighs to match. But we have to think about the goals that it is that we have for ourselves. Do you want to lose a certain amount of weight? Is your goal to just move every day? Is your goal to increase your cardiovascular health? Is your goal to reverse diabetes? Is your goal to have more glowy skin? Is your goal just to feel better? Like, what is the goal for you? And then you have to create an action plan. We can't just talk about it. We got to actually be about it. We got to take some type of steps in order to achieve that goal. So whether it's, I'm just prioritizing movement right now. I just want to go to the gym 3 times a week. I want to go for a walk every single day. I want to dance for 20 minutes every day. If you just want to put on a YouTube video that has a workout on it, focus on that. And even so, I'll share something personal with you all. I've been on my fitness journey for on and off for many, many years. And the military was really a motivating factor for me to maintain my weight. But because I have a lot of different injuries, if you don't know, I'm prior military, and I ended up being medically separated and pretty much medically retired because my body and mind broke down real bad. We'll just put it that way. Maybe I'll share my story another time. But I went and I gained a lot of weight because I just wasn't taking care of myself. I was depressed. I was going through a divorce. Then the pandemic hit. And then I was just going through so much stuff. And so maybe about 2022, I was like, okay, I want to get serious about my health and fitness. I joined a fitness class. It was great. I had a great time. I didn't lose a lot of weight per se, but I lost a lot of fat. I slimmed down quite significantly and I got much stronger. But then I ended up re-injuring myself. And I realized that even though I enjoyed the class, because of the ailments that I had before, or my finger's itching, y'all. So if I look like I'm scratching, that's what's going on right now. Even though I enjoyed the class, the chronic pain that I had only got worse. And I ended up re-injuring my hip, which, if you know anything about hip injuries, they take a really long time to heal because your hips support you. They are the center of gravity for women. So I ended up gaining all the weight back because I was injured, and I had to not only reintroduce my entire body to exercising and movement, but I now had to correct a lot of the things that were causing me pain, right? I have lower back pain, and one of the largest causes of lower back pain are tight quads, weak hips, weak hamstrings, really tight hamstrings. I have tendonitis in my knees, so that's just swelling of the tendons that are in your knees. I have plantar fasciitis, which means that your arches in your feet fall, and essentially you have flat feet. I've twisted my ankles numerous times. I have weakened tendons in my shoulder. So I have a weak core. Like, there are just all of these major parts of my body that have weakened over time. And so even though I was doing all these large movements and I was getting stronger in my larger muscles, the in-between muscles, the micro muscles, the tendons, and the stuff that's like in between the, what do you call them? That's in between your joints was weak. My core was weak. That holds your entire body up. If that's not strong, you're bound to have lower back pain. My hip flexors were weak because of the continuous injuries. So I had all of these things that were going on that were going ignored. So when I restarted my fitness journey, I focused heavily on mobility movements. And I'm not a fitness coach, so y'all look up mobility movements and dynamic stretching. I focused on that. And I focused on going to the gym. At first I was trying to do 5 days a week, but 5 days a week is too much for me. So I do 3 days a week. I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if I can't go on one of them days, I try to figure something out, right? And I don't pressure myself, right? If I'm on my cycle, I'm not going to the gym. Child, I don't feel good. And I want to lay down, okay? And, I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna get some rest and then I'm gonna go back the next week. So you really have to find something that works for you. And so, okay, so going back, I'm jumping all over the place, but going back, I've been prioritizing mobility movements for the last month and a half since restarting my fitness journey. And what I'll do is I'll go and I'll walk. What I was doing before is I was walking for 10 minutes and I would go upstairs and I would do body weight exercises or lightweight exercises as opposed to doing heavy weights or doing a whole lot of cardio. Like I really just needed to get my body loose again because my body, I wake up so tight sometimes. One, because sometimes I'm really stressed. And two, there are weak parts of my body that just need to be corrected. So instead of focusing on trying to lose weight and, doing all this stuff and hitting PRs and stuff, I just focused on moving and getting my body loose because I was tired of being in pain. And I'm happy to say that there are some exercises that I've done that have really helped alleviate some of my chronic back pain, some of my chronic knee pain, where bending down, I'm not cracking so much. I'm a lot more flexible, a lot more loose. So like I said, think about the goal it is that you have for yourself, the initial goal, and then create a plan for that. And then be realistic, right? You have to understand that you are building something over time. You are now building a new lifestyle that's going to take time. Now, with physical exercise comes your diet now, okay? Now, we're not going to talk about, micronutrients and macros. We're not talking about all that. You need to fuel your body. You need to eat things that are going to make you perform at the highest level in which you need to perform, right? So I know when I'm on my period, Lord, I love me one of them double chocolate donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. And I'll go get one and I'll have one right in the morning, right with my morning coffee. And you know what? I feel awful for the rest of the day because I'm not fueling my body. So what I have been practicing now is that I will get my sweet in with my coffee, and I'm learning to use less and less sugar with my coffee because, again, it takes time to taper yourself off. And then in the morning, I will have 2 eggs with chopped up spinach and some mushrooms, and sometimes I'll make a sandwich out of it. Sometimes I'll make, sauteed potatoes with it. It really just depends on how I'm feeling that day. But that actually fills me up and fuels my body. So again, think about what actually makes your body feel good, right? When you eat something, does your body like it? Does your energy go up or down? Do you feel sustained during the day? Think about things like that. And then also think about when you're talking about your energy levels and we're talking about fueling your body, remember that a lot of us have vitamin deficiencies. And the American diet just does not allow us to intake the amount of nutrients that we really and truly need. And so you're oftentimes going to have to supplement with some things. I remember I used to be so low energy and I could not figure out why I had such low energy until I remembered, girl, you're anemic. I'm slightly anemic. You need to take iron pills. Your doctor has told you that. You also have low vitamin D and low calcium. You need to take those things. And so what I did was that I realized that I didn't like taking pills all the time. So what I did was I started taking a multivitamin that is a liquid. Now that I have gotten consistent with taking that, I take that maybe like every other day, every 3 days. But what I do take every day is I take my zinc, I take my iron, and I take my vitamin D tablets because those are the bare minimum things. So think about what vitamin deficiencies that you have and see if that's something that, that you may have that you may not even know about. Just go to your doctor and say, I want to know if I'm deficient in anything and if there's anything that I can use to supplement it, and make sure that you're doing that for yourself. And then the last thing is to make sure you are prioritizing rest. Okay, you have to prioritize rest. You need to rest. So your body and your mind needs rest. Okay, period, point blank. Y'all know I am quick to take a nap, honey. I'm quick to take a nap. So make sure you're prioritizing your rest. The next thing that we're going to talk about is your emotional and mental well-being, right? Because your physical body is what supports you every day, right? But your mind, your spirit, your soul, those are the things that I'm not going to say go ignored, but sometimes that we don't place a lot of emphasis on. And now, especially if you're a millennial, people like to say, oh, this is the crybaby generation. Nobody wants to work hard. That's not true. The point is that the problem is that we've been working hard for a really long time and things are still crazy out here. Okay. And so I am a huge advocate of therapy. Everybody does not need therapy. Let me rephrase that. Everybody needs some therapy because especially the day and age that we live in now, every time you turn on the TV, there's something bad that's going on. There's a massive tragedy or something's going on in your family, or you're having a hard time with your relationships, or you don't feel good about yourself. You're having a hard time at work. You just need somebody to talk to who knows a little something about a little something, something. Okay. So I'm a huge advocate of therapy. Make sure that you all are prioritizing, communicating what it is that you need, right? And understanding that it's okay for you to have needs. Most of us go through life mindlessly and we don't even understand that we even have needs, right? Because we don't slow down long enough to realize or even identify what is missing in our life. And so I talk a lot about practicing mindfulness, right? And mindfulness is exactly what it sounds like, being mindful or being cognizant and intentional about understanding your needs and getting to the bottom of why you feel the way that you feel, what you need, what you want, what you desire, and how you can get it. Now, some ways that you can practice mindfulness is by simply journaling. Sometimes you can write, a gratitude journal. Today, I am grateful for this, 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 and this. Or if you're feeling some kind of way, or you need to get something out, you need to vent, you need to express yourself in some type of way, you can write down. I'm itching, y'all. I don't know why. Anyways, you can write it down in a journal. This helps you, again, express yourself and organize your thoughts. Something else that I'm very big on is meditation, right? Meditation is not about clearing your mind. It's not about shutting your mind off. It's really about reminding yourself and teaching yourself how to relax and how to rest in the present moment and be present with what's going on. It helps you see through all the clouds and the noise of the day. It helps you shut out the noise of the day and focus in on the present moment. If you're interested in any meditations, I do have guided meditations here on this channel. If I remember, I will link it up here, but you can go ahead and look at the channel. And I do have at least 2 or 3 meditations that are on the channel. And you don't have to meditate for 30 minutes to an hour. The meditations I have are like 9 to 10 minutes. What I do is I incorporate meditation into my workout when I have time. I don't always have time during my workout, but after my workout, I will go and sit in the sauna. I will choose a meditation that is either 5 to 10 minutes long. I will go and I will sit in the sauna with my headphones on, and I will listen to the meditation as long as I'm in the sauna. And once the meditation is over, I will leave out of the sauna and I will be done for the day. And when I tell you, I feel so much clearer. I feel ready to accomplish my day. I feel ready to, do the things that need to be done. I don't feel cluttered. I don't feel sporadic and all over the place. It's an amazing meditation. It's an amazing mindfulness exercise. And then one thing I don't hear a lot of people talking about is visualization. I actually like to visualize myself going through my day and thinking about the things that need to happen so that I can replay it in my mind. So I can play it in my mind so that when I'm doing it outwardly, I'm not getting distracted by the little things that are going on in my life. Again, if you're interested in visualization and meditation exercises, I do have some guided exercises here on this channel that you can do. And then the last thing that I really want to talk about is that the noise that you hear isn't just from people that are outside of you that don't mean anything to you. Sometimes we get the noise from the people that we love, right? And so sometimes that noise that we hear from people that we love hits a little bit different, right? And it can affect your emotional and mental well-being so much in a way where it can begin to cause you to doubt yourself. it can make you feel unsupported. It can speak to your insecurities. And so you have to be very careful about who you have around you. When it comes to prioritizing your own well-being, you have to understand that your relationships matter. The relationships that you have with people are a reflection of who you are and how you see yourself. And if you're not careful, you will allow people to pour into you who are pouring in gasoline, and when you need water, honey, okay, they will maybe drowning you, and you really need some reprieve. And so you have to really focus on cultivating healthy relationships that support you, that make you feel good about yourself, that even hold you accountable, but hold you accountable with love, okay? You have to cultivate a community of people that you can rely on. And then also, y'all know I'm huge on ranking people, okay? Decide who is going to hold what position in your life. Understand people's strengths and weaknesses and who has the capacity to do what and show up in what capacity for you. Because part of the reason why some of us are so stressed out is because we expecting for people to be something other than what they have taught us to be. Other than what they have showed us that they are capable of being, okay? So cultivate healthy relationships, set boundaries, enforce your boundaries, live your boundaries. This isn't something that you always have to say, I don't like when you do this instead. When you embody your boundaries and you surround yourself with people who support you, some of this stuff comes effortlessly. And even when you do have to set and enforce those boundaries and assert your boundaries, it's not met with conflict, right? It's not met with disdain. They may not understand. They may not even agree. But you know what they'll do? They'll respect you. They will respect you. People who love you will respect you for prioritizing your own well-being. Now, I talked a lot about community just now. And I want to encourage everybody on here to be true and authentic to themselves. And this being true and authentic allows people who love you to find you, and it allows those who do not to fall away. And part of what defines you as a person and defines your authenticity is how you identify spiritually. And this is an area of my life where I'm not going to lie, I have struggled in a little bit, because I see God as this vast energy. I don't see God as this man in the sky. I see God as something that is not just external to me, but internal to me. And I believe in the Holy Spirit and intuition. I believe in, the universal principles and biblical principles. I believe that, Jesus was a rebel and he didn't care about what anybody had to say, and he was about his father's business, and they crucified him for it. I believe in all of those things. But I also feel like when I look at the sun, the moon, and the stars, and I think about all the things that have yet to be discovered, how there are galaxies outside of ours, how we have no number to the stars, how there is so much depth in the ocean that we can't even reach as human beings, that there are things that exist that we've never even seen, that there are parts of the world that we haven't even touched. Like, when I think about how vast and magnificent God is, it is so hard for me to believe one belief is the way. And this is my first time actually saying this on camera, because I have lived a certain way for a long time. And I don't think that it's the wrong way. I just don't think it allows me to live in my full authenticity. I don't believe that God is small. I don't believe God is in the box that we put him in. And I call God him because it's out of training and conditioning. So why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because when it comes to prioritizing your well-being, you cannot consider what other people deem as respectable, respectful, and correct, especially when it comes to your spiritual well-being. Prioritizing your spiritual well-being looks like honoring the truth that God has revealed to you and connecting to God in a way that he has revealed to you. I connect with God in so many different ways. Because like I said, I could sit by the ocean and I feel God's presence heavier than anywhere else. I love to see the swaying trees in the park, and I feel like I can hear the whispers of the angels. I believe that my ancestors are with me everywhere I go. Like I think so big and um outside of the box that sometimes it's hard for me to narrow down one way of believing. I don't know if the camera is a little bit weird. And so because of that, because I have had this kind of like back and forth struggle with what God looks like to me and how I connect with God and how I hear from God, my spiritual practices or my spiritual routine has been tainted because I'm denying how I connect with God. I connect with God through meditation, through being in nature, through sitting in worship, through praying, through cleaning. Like there are just a lot of different things that I can't wait to share with you all. I'm gonna one day muster up the courage to really share with you all, how I take care of my spiritual well-being. So I say all that to say, like, prioritizing your well-being looks like honoring how you connect to your divine source, to your higher power, whether that's through prayer, sitting in worship, like I said before, meditating, journaling, writing letters to God, writing letters to your higher power, reading religious texts, and being a part of a community that shares those same beliefs. And I want to encourage you that the way that you see God is indicative of the way that you see yourself. Because I don't know about any other religion. All I know is Christianity. I don't necessarily identify as a Christian because that word comes with its own identity. I consider myself a follower of Jesus Christ because Jesus was a rebel. He was out here about his father's business and he didn't care what anybody else had to say. People said everything that they wanted to say about him. They called him a witch, a sorcerer. They said that he was, committing, that he was disobeying the Sabbath, that he was all these different things. And Jesus didn't care. Jesus was out here healing people with spit, dirt, and words. Jesus was out here feeding 5,000, with 2 loaves of bread and some fish. Like, Jesus went up into the wilderness, went into, isolation to hear from God before he did a lot of his miraculous works. And I realized I live my life like that. Going from place to place to place, experiencing God in different ways and impacting other people in different ways. And for some reason, I'm having a hard time reconciling that within myself. But that's neither here nor there. I want to encourage everybody here to reconcile within themselves. Let's make a pact today that we're going to reconcile within ourselves to pour into ourselves and prioritize our spiritual well-being in a way that feels authentic to us, because God's truth is so vast that he cannot possibly be in a little itty bitty box. He just can't. And so when it comes to, again, pouring into yourself and becoming confident in who God created you to be and in how you connect with God and in how to communicate that and how to express that, you really have to learn to develop yourself, right? You have to learn to develop a sense of awareness about yourself so that when somebody does try to counter what your beliefs are, or they try to come in and violate your boundaries or try to teach you something about yourself that's not true, you have the skills to communicate and you have the thought processes necessary to combat that and to stand firm in your truth without getting upset or even getting offended, but simply knowing that you are authentic to yourself. I talk about personal development because we have to understand ourselves so much so that when somebody tries to come in and combat what we know to be true about ourselves, about our lives, about our truth, about our authentic selves, we're not shaken, right? We may not always feel led to explain how we're feeling or what's going on with us, but we have a great sense of self. We have a self-perception that is high. We have high self-esteem. We're confident in who we are, that when somebody doesn't agree with us, we don't really care that much, right? And so prioritizing your well-being also looks like, again, developing yourself personally, investing in your personal development so that you can develop skills, confidence, and be able to show up as your best self. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. I know some of it was a little bit of a rant, which I was not expected to go on, but again, I'm learning to be more authentic on camera. I am also working through my own things in my life and in my minds, and I'm reconciling with God because I'm different. And so many of you are different. And I never want to show up to you all in a way that is inauthentic, because then that's not sustainable. And I want to encourage you that you were created different. You were called to a certain group of people who need to hear your story. And if you hide yourself and you don't prioritize your own well-being, they will never find you, which means that they will suffer. They will continue to wander in the wilderness because their leader, who is you, somebody who is literally created and groomed and developed by God to lead them, is still trying to reconcile within themselves, still wrestling with God themselves. And I'm not saying that the wrestle with God ever ends. All I'm saying is to admit that you're wrestling with God and, submit yourself to his will for your life. Okay? Whatever that looks like for you. You don't have to agree with me. I don't really care. I am living in my truth because I want the people who are on this channel to live in their truth. So prioritize yourselves, y'all. Prioritize your well-being. Do not live with a mask on. Do not allow other people to tell you who you are, who you should be, who you shouldn't be, who God created you to be. You know who God created you to be. Seek God for yourself and prioritize your health, your emotional and mental well-being. Live life satisfied, because that is what God's will for your life is. I love you all. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you join the tribe. I love y'all so, so much. I am growing and learning, and I just had so many revelations during this here video, and I'm looking forward to being authentic and being bold and being courageous so that the people who truly need me can find me. I love y'all. Have a great day.